King Arthur and the Black Knight. Chapter 1. A Beautiful Day. Long ago, a great king named Arthur ruled over Britain. He was helped by a wizard named Merlin. He also had the help of the bravest knights in the land. They were the Knights of the Round Table. One day, King Arthur and his knights were riding through the country. They were near the forests of the Usk. Arthur and the knights stopped to rest under some trees. Suddenly, a wounded knight appeared coming through the forest. He rode slowly on his horse. The knight's servant helped hold him up. The hurt knight's clothes were covered with blood. He had a large cut on his side. Arthur asked,
"Who is this man? What has happened to him?"
Arthur told a knight to help the wounded man's servant. Everyone wanted to hear the wounded knight's story. Chapter 2. Sir Miles's Battle. The wounded knight's servant approached King Arthur to tell the knight's story.
"This man's name is Sir Miles,"
he began.
"We have been riding for a long time. Sir Miles has defeated 6 knights in the past 2 weeks. This morning," the servant continued, "we came to a great castle in a valley. We met 3 young girls. We told the girls that we were looking for adventure. They told us about a road. It leads to a stone bridge over a river. They said we would find our adventure there. We followed the road and found the stone bridge. We saw a castle on the other side. There was a large apple tree near the castle. It had many shields hanging from it. Sir Miles went toward the bridge. Then he saw a black shield. It was hanging from another apple tree. There was a brass hammer next to the shield. Under the shield there was a sign. The sign read, "Whoever strikes this shield will be in danger." Sir Miles took the hammer and struck the shield. He hit it hard. The sound could be heard all through the forest. Then the gate to the castle came down. A knight dressed in black armor appeared. The 2 knights battled on the lawn. The Black Knight defeated Sir Miles. He took Sir Miles's shield. Then he hung it in the apple tree. He left Sir Miles lying on the ground. He did not offer to help Sir Miles at all.
Chapter 3. A Plan of Action. When King Arthur heard this, he became angry.
"This should not happen to a knight in my kingdom,"
he shouted. All of the other knights agreed with Arthur. Then Griflet, a servant of one of the knights, spoke. He asked King Arthur to make him a knight. Griflet himself wanted to fight the Black Knight. At first, Arthur said Griflet was too young. But the king could see that the young man very much wanted to fight the Black Knight. Arthur decided to let him do it, so Griflet was made a knight the next morning. Then he rode away to look for the Black Knight. After Sir Griflet left, Sir Miles died. King Arthur waited all day. Sir Griflet did not come back. Finally, that evening, Sir Griflet's servant came. He said,
Sir Griflet is coming.
Then they saw the young knight. He didn't have his shield, and he was hurt. King Arthur went to Sir Griflet to hear his story. Sir Griflet had fought the Black Knight and lost. The Black Knight had taken his shield, just like with Sir Miles. Arthur became angry again. He decided to find the Black Knight and defeat him. The next morning, Arthur dressed in his armor. He rode off on his white horse. He was ready to fight the Black Knight. Chapter 4. 3 Girls. Arthur rode through the forest on his white horse. It was a beautiful day. The land was filled with flowers and trees. The air was filled with the songs of many birds. After some time, Arthur came to a wide valley. There was also a great castle in the valley. He saw 3 girls playing. Arthur rode down toward the girls. He wanted to ask them how to find the Black Knight. King Arthur approached the 3 young girls. The tallest girl asked,
Where are you going, sir?
I am looking for adventure,
said Arthur. The most beautiful of the 3 girls spoke to Arthur.
We have seen 2 knights in the past 2 days. They came this way looking for adventure. They were both hurt very badly. Come, you should eat with us.
King Arthur ate with them. Then they told him how to find the Black Knight. He thanked them and left. Along the way, Arthur rode through a dark, dirty place. He saw 3 filthy men. They had long knives. They were chasing an old man with a long white beard. Arthur held his spear. He charged on his horse toward the men. He shouted,
Stop!
The 3 men dropped their knives. They ran away. Arthur looked at the man with the long white beard. He saw that it was Merlin.
It's a good thing I came along. I saved you from those men,
Arthur told Merlin. Merlin said,
It may look like I was in danger, but I could have saved myself easily. However, I am here to save you from a great danger. You are on an adventure. I will come with you.
Arthur agreed to take Merlin along with him. Then the 2 men left. Chapter 5. The Black Knight. King Arthur and Merlin rode for hours. Then they came to the bridge. Arthur found the shield and brass hammer near the bridge. He struck the shield hard. The sound could be heard all through the forest. The gate of the castle came down. The Black Knight came out.
Why did you strike my shield?
The Black Knight asked angrily.
Now I shall defeat you in battle. I will hang your shield in my apple tree.
Arthur shouted back,
We will have our battle, but you will not take my shield.
The two men rode their horses to the lawn. They both got their shields ready. They got their spears ready. Then they began the battle. The two knights charged toward each other quickly. They ran into each other in the middle of the lawn. The spears of both knights were shattered, but both men stayed on their horses. Each knight took a new spear. They charged toward each other again. Once more, both spears were shattered. Again, both men stayed on their horses. The two knights charged a third time. This time, only Arthur's spear shattered. However, the Black Knight's spear broke through Arthur's shield. It cut into the king's side. Arthur's horse fell down, but Arthur landed on his feet. Arthur ran to the Black Knight. He pulled the Black Knight from his horse. The two knights began to fight with swords on the ground. They fought with each other angrily. Arthur hit the Black Knight so hard that his sword broke. Then the Black Knight struck Arthur hard. His sword cut through Arthur's shield and armor. King Arthur fell to his knees. Chapter 6. A Quick Recovery. King Arthur's head was covered with blood. He slowly got back on his feet. The Black Knight was also hurt. But both knights continued to fight. At last, the Black Knight pushed Arthur down. He held Arthur on the ground. He was ready to kill Arthur with a knife. Suddenly, Merlin appeared on the lawn. He struck the Black Knight with his staff. The Black Knight could not get up from the ground. He could not move. Merlin helped King Arthur to his horse, and they rode away. Merlin cleaned King Arthur's wounds. He made Arthur rest for many days. Once Arthur felt better, the king wanted to fight the Black Knight again. Merlin said,
You have no sword. Yours broke in the battle. But I know where you can find another sword.
Merlin told the king.
We must go to the Forest of Adventure. There is a magic lake in the forest. In the middle of the lake, you can see a woman's arm. She is holding the greatest sword in the land.
Arthur asked,
"Is it a magic sword?"
Yes,
said Merlin.
it is Excalibur. Many men have tried to take the sword, but no one has taken it.
King Arthur and Merlin rode to the Forest of Adventure. They found the lake there. Arthur saw Excalibur. The sword was shining in the sunlight in the middle of the lake. It was held there in the hand of the Lady of the Lake. Chapter 7. A Special Sword. King Arthur saw a woman by the lake. She was watching the king and the wizard. Arthur approached her. The woman's name was Nimue. She was the keeper of the lake. She told Arthur how to get the sword. Nimue said,
Only a man without fear in his heart can take the sword.
Nimue showed Arthur a boat made of brass. This boat would take him to the sword. Arthur stepped into the boat. It floated quickly toward the middle of the lake. The arm holding Excalibur did not move. Arthur took the sword in his hand. When he took Excalibur, the arm of the Lady of the Lake sank into the water. The sword was his. Now King Arthur was ready to fight the Black Knight. He and Merlin rode back to the Black Knight's castle. Chapter 8. The Second Battle. Arthur struck the shield to call the Black Knight out of his castle. Then, once again, the Black Knight and King Arthur fought on the castle lawn. They both broke their spears. Then they began to fight with swords on the ground. Now that Arthur had Excalibur, he easily defeated the Black Knight. But after the battle, Arthur saw that there was no blood on his armor. He was not hurt at all. The Black Knight begged for his life. Arthur said,
"Yes, I will let you live. But I ask you to let your 2 sons go with me to Camelot. They will be knights of the Round Table."
The Black Knight agreed to send his sons with King Arthur. Arthur was glad. With his sons as part of the Round Table, the Black Knight would not fight the king in the future. As they rode home, Merlin talked with King Arthur. He told the king,
Excalibur has strong magic. However, the sword's sheath has even stronger magic. Whoever wears it cannot be wounded in battle.
Arthur told Merlin,
"This is a very special sword. With Excalibur and its sheath, I will become a great king."
Merlin smiled and said,
No, Arthur. The sword will not do that. Your heart will make you a great king.
In fact, King Arthur became the most famous king ever to rule Britain. Ivanhoe. Chapter 1. The Tournament. It is the end of the 12th century, and England has many problems. The Saxons, who once ruled England, no longer control the country. However, England has a Saxon king. He is Richard I. The country has a Saxon king, but it is under the control of the Normans. They are people from France. Why doesn't the king control things? King Richard has been away for a long time. He went to fight in the Holy Land. His brother, Prince John, has taken his place. The Normans and Saxons hate each other. The Normans are doing bad things to the people. They are also stealing people's land. Prince John is doing nothing to stop them. This is also the time of knights. Dressed in their armor, they are the masters of battle. One day, Prince John calls for a sporting event for the knights. The event will be at Ashby. Norman knights will meet Saxon knights in battles for sport. The Normans are better fighters. They win most of these tournaments. Two teams of knights begin the tournament with jousting. Two knights on horseback ride toward each other with wooden lances pointed at each other. The knight who can knock the other knight to the ground with his lance is the winner. The famous Brian de Bois-Guilbert leads the Normans to fight the Saxons. His team easily wins. Then someone shouts,
Who is that knight?
A knight on a black horse comes on to the tournament field. He has on silver armor. The knight slowly goes toward Bois-Guilbert with his lance raised. He strikes Bois-Guilbert's shield with his lance.
The knight is saying to Bois-Guilbert, Let's fight.
But he is not using words. Bois-Guilbert is angry.
Are you ready to die?
Bois-Guilbert asks the stranger.
Yes.
The unknown knight says.
Then let the battle begin,
says Bois-Guilbert. The two knights get ready for a joust. Their horses begin to run as fast as they can. Everyone thinks Bois-Guilbert will win, but the stranger knocks him to the ground. There is a great cheer. The Saxons in the crowd are very happy. The Norman knight has lost. Chapter 2. The Unknown Knight. The unknown knight fights 5 more Norman knights. He easily defeats each of them.
Who are you, sir?
Prince John asks the unknown knight.
Remove your helmet and let us see your face. I cannot do that,
the knight says.
John says, "You are the winner today. You choose the queen of the tournament." The knight on the black horse looks at the people watching the contest. One man he sees is Cedric, a Saxon noble. Cedric is sitting next to a beautiful young woman named Rowena. Cedric is not her father, but he takes care of her. Rowena loves Cedric's son, Ivanhoe. However, Cedric says that Ivanhoe is no longer his son. He is angry with his son because Ivanhoe did not listen to him. Ivanhoe followed King Richard to the Holy Land. There is another beautiful young woman watching the tournament. Her name is Rebecca. She is with her father Isaac. They are Jews. Jews are hated by both Normans and Saxons. The knight points to Rowena. He chooses her as the queen of the tournament. Now it is time for the second part of the tournament. Teams of knights will fight other teams. The unknown knight is chosen to lead the Saxons. Bois Guilbert is the leader of the Normans. The two teams charge each other to fight. Horses and men are wounded by the weapons. Then, the unknown knight is surrounded by 3 other knights. He has to fight all 3 men. He defends himself well, but he cannot win. Suddenly, another knight appears to help him. This knight is dressed in black armor and rides a black horse. The new knight's fighting skill is better than that of all the other knights. The unknown knight's team wins the contest. He is brought before Rowena. She will put a crown on his head. But first, she must remove his helmet. When his helmet is removed, Rowena is surprised. It is Ivanhoe. Before Rowena can crown Ivanhoe, he falls at her feet. He has been badly wounded. Chapter 3. The Forest. On the third and last day of the tournament, there is to be an archery contest. Hubert, Prince John's best archer, is there. Another man in the competition is named Locksley. Hubert shoots his arrow first. It hits the center circle of the target. "You cannot do better than that, Locksley," Prince John says. "It is perfect." "Let us see," says Locksley. He takes careful aim and shoots his arrow. It strikes Hubert's arrow and splits it. Everyone is surprised. "This is magic," says Hubert. "No man can shoot like that." Locksley takes his gold for winning the contest. Then he disappears into the forest. The Black Knight has also gone into the forest. There, he finds a small house. It is the home of a religious man known as a friar. The knight asks the friar for a place to rest for the night. The friar gives him a place to rest and some food. They eat, drink, and sing all night long. Other things are happening in the forest this night. Sir Cedric and Lady Rowena are on their way home from the tournament. Their servants are with them. They meet Isaac and Rebecca in the forest. Isaac is pulling a man on a litter behind his horse.
Cedric, can you help us?
Isaac asks.
How can I help you? And who is this?
Cedric asks, pointing to the litter.
He is an old man and very sick.
Isaac says.
Rebecca will take care of him at our home. However, we are afraid. There are many outlaws in this forest. Can we travel with you?
Yes,
says Cedric.
You can come with us.
Suddenly, there was a loud noise. Many men come out of the forest and surround the group.
Outlaws!
Shouts Cedric. He quickly pulls out his sword. However, there are too many of them. Cedric drops his sword.
You will come with us,
one man says. Cedric and the group are now prisoners.
Chapter 4. Strange Outlaws.
As the group moves through the forest, one of the prisoners escapes. He is one of Cedric's servants. As this servant runs through the forest, he meets Locksley.
What is wrong?
Locksley asks. Why are you running?
Sir, my master, Cedric the Saxon, has been captured by outlaws,
the servant says.
Outlaws?
Locksley asks.
That cannot be true. Let me go and see.
Locksley goes into the dark forest. Soon, he returns.
Those men are not outlaws,
says Locksley.
They are soldiers who wear the clothing of outlaws. I know where they are going. However, we need help to save your master. Follow me.
Locksley hurries off with Cedric's servant right behind him. Soon, they come to a large tree.
Suddenly, Locksley and the servant are surrounded by a group of men. Each man has a bow and arrow.
And all the arrows are pointed at Locksley and the servant.
Easy, men,
Locksley says.
No need for alarm.
The men know this is the voice of their leader. They all put down their weapons. As the men come closer, the servant sees that they are real outlaws. He thinks that Locksley must be their leader, and he is right. However, there is something very strange about these outlaws. Why do they want to help a Saxon nobleman?
Listen, men,
Locksley says.
Soldiers have captured Cedric the Saxon and his friends. The soldiers are taking them to the castle of Reginald Front-de-Bœuf. We must help them. Go tell all the men of the forest to come quickly.
Locksley's men leave to call together all the outlaws. Locksley takes Cedric's servant to the house of the friar. Locksley is surprised when he sees the Black Knight in the friar's house. That is because the friar is really an outlaw, and outlaws do not like knights. Cedric's servant is surprised when the friar changes his clothes for the clothing of an outlaw. Strange things are happening deep in the English forest. Chapter 5. The Castle. When Locksley and the Black Knight first meet, they do not trust each other. Then Locksley smiles. "I know you," he says to the knight. "You helped Ivanhoe defeat the Normans in the tournament. Then I think you are a friend of England." "And who are you?" the knight asks. "Just an outlaw of the forest," Locksley says. "And if you are a true friend of England, maybe you will help us. Cedric the Saxon has been kidnapped. Will you help us save him?" The Black Knight looks at Locksley and the friar. It seems strange to him that the outlaw wants to help a rich Saxon. Maybe, the knight thinks, the outlaws are not really bad men. "You dress like an outlaw," the knight says, "but you have the heart of a true Englishman. Yes, I will help you save Cedric." Inside the castle of Front-de-Bœuf, the prisoners are put in different places. Isaac the Jew is taken to a small dark room. Front-de-Bœuf wants much gold from him. Cedric is put in another room. He does not know that his son, Ivanhoe, is in the castle too. Ivanhoe came to the castle on Isaac and Rebecca's litter. He is the sick man that they were carrying. Brian de Bois-Guilbert is in the castle too. He has decided that Rebecca will be his wife. This is very strange. The Normans and Saxons think of the Jews as dogs. Even so, Bois-Guilbert tries to get Rebecca to go with him, but she will not. After Bois-Guilbert leaves her, Rebecca goes to help Ivanhoe. She takes care of him. Rebecca has a special skill in making sick people well. While all this is happening, the outlaws are getting ready outside the castle. They have come to attack the castle. Chapter 6. The Attack. Locksley and the Black Knight are now near the castle waiting to attack. With them are hundreds of outlaws. The outlaws have longbows. These bows shoot 1 meter long arrows. One of the outlaws gives a signal, and the outlaws attack the castle. The outlaws all shoot their arrows at the same time. There are so many arrows in the air that the arrows look like a cloud. The defenders in the castle must hide behind shields. Some of them are killed. Then the defenders fire arrows at the outlaws, killing some of them. The Black Knight moves close to the castle. There he is met by another knight, who is a very large man. This knight is Front-de-Bœuf. The two knights fight each other with swords. At first, Front-de-Bœuf knocks the Black Knight down. The Black Knight seems to be defeated. However, he stands up again. He strikes Front-de-Bœuf with his sword, but his sword breaks. Front-de-Bœuf now raises his sword to kill the Black Knight, who has no weapon. Suddenly, the Black Knight grabs an axe from the ground. He raises it over his head and strikes Front de Bœuf on top of his helmet. The helmet splits open. The huge knight falls to the ground. The Black Knight has won the battle.
To the castle, men!
The Black Knight shouts.
Open the gate!
In no time, the castle gate is open. The outlaws quickly move inside. The defenders of the castle give up.
Free the prisoners!
Shouts the Black Knight. Then he sees a horse with 2 people on it.
Look, it's Bois Bear. Catch him!
However, it is too late. The Norman knight escapes. The other person on the horse with Bois Bear is Rebecca. He has kidnapped her.
Somebody stop him!
Cries Rebecca's father.
Oh, my poor Rebecca!
Isaac can only watch as his daughter and her kidnapper ride away.
Chapter 7. 2 Surprises.
The Black Knight says goodbye to the outlaws and rides into the forest. He is soon attacked by soldiers sent by Prince John to kill him. He fights very well, but he cannot defeat all the attackers. Suddenly, Locksley appears with a group of outlaws. They help the knight defeat the soldiers. After the fight, there is a big surprise.
My fellow Englishmen, thank you.
The knight says. He removes his helmet to show his face.
It is King Richard!
One man shouts, and all the outlaws bow to the king.
Stand up, men. You may be outlaws, but you fight like brave knights.
Then Locksley surprises the king.
Sir, like you, I am famous too. I am better known as Robin Hood. I am only an outlaw because of the hard laws made by Prince John.
The king smiles.
Because you have helped me, you and these men shall not go to prison as outlaws. And we will change our laws. Then you will not need to break the laws to live.
King Richard and the outlaws then have a great feast. However, others are not so happy at this time. Bois Bear has taken Rebecca to a castle. In that castle is a group of knights. The leader of the knights is called the Grand Master. He will not let Bois Bear marry Rebecca. The Grand Master believes that she is a witch. Soldiers bring Rebecca to the Grand Master. He says,
You are a witch. All witches must be burned. There is only one way you can be saved. A knight must be your champion. He must joust with Bois Bear. If your champion wins, you will live. If he loses, you will die.
However, Rebecca does not know any knight who can be her champion. Without a champion, she will die in 3 days.
Chapter 8. The Champion.
Isaac hears about Rebecca's trial. He hurries to find a knight who will be her champion. The only knight he knows is Ivanhoe.
However, Ivanhoe is still weak from his wound. When Ivanhoe learns about Rebecca, he finds a horse and puts on his armor. Then he rides to find Rebecca. Because of his wounds, riding is very difficult for him. In the castle, the people are waiting. Rebecca's time is almost up.
Woman,
The Grand Master says,
where is your champion?
My God will send a champion.
she says. Then someone shouts,
A knight! It is a champion for the lady!
Ivanhoe rides into the castle. He is weak and almost falls from his horse. However, he will fight for Rebecca. The two knights charge toward each other on their horses. Their lances are raised. Each knight strikes the other with his lance. Both men fall to the ground. One knight stands up, but he looks very weak. The other knight is still on the ground. He is dead. The dead knight is Bois-Guilbert. Rebecca saved Ivanhoe's life after the tournament at Ashby. Now he has repaid her by saving her life. Suddenly, there is the sound of many horses. The Black Knight and his men ride into the castle. The knight approaches the Grand Master.
You will leave this place now.
The Black Knight says.
And who is it that gives me this command?
Asks the Grand Master. The Black Knight takes off his helmet so the Grand Master can see his face.
Richard, King of England,
says the Black Knight. The Norman knights move into a battle line behind the Grand Master. They raise their weapons. The Saxons line up behind King Richard. Their weapons are also raised. Both sides are ready for a fight. However, there are more Saxons than Normans. The Grand Master knows that his Norman knights cannot defeat the Saxons. He gives a signal, and the Normans turn and march out of the castle. King Richard has won a victory over the Normans without a fight. It is a small victory. However, it is the beginning of the end of Norman control over England.
The Battle of Red Cliffs, from Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Chapter 1. Cao Cao's Southern Campaign. It was during the last days of the Han Dynasty of China in the 2nd and 3rd centuries. Generals and nobles were fighting to take power. 3 generals were very strong at this time. Cao Cao was in the north. Sun Quan was in the southeast. Liu Bei was in the southwest. After Cao Cao took over the north, he took the central part of China. Then he started his southern campaign. Cao Cao lost 2 battles with Liu Bei. He was stopped by Liu Bei on the northwest shore of the Great River. He could not defeat Liu Bei by himself. Cao Cao sent a letter to Sun Quan. In the letter he said, "Together we can attack Liu Bei. We can share his land. We can also make a promise of peace between us." Many of Sun Quan's men advised him to accept the offer. However, Sun Quan was not sure. At the time, Sun Quan was waiting for an answer from Liu Bei. He had asked Liu Bei to work together to stop Cao Cao's southern campaign. Then a messenger from Liu Bei arrived. His name was Zhu Liang. Zhu Liang was a famous military planner. Sun Quan said, "You fight well in wars, Zhu Liang. Now let's see if you can fight with words. Some of my men want peace with Cao Cao. Can you talk them into fighting Cao Cao?" Zhu Liang spoke to Sun Quan's men. He told them that they needed to stop Cao Cao. He first puzzled Sun Quan's chief advisor, Zhang Zhao. Then, with his words, Zhu Liang defeated the other officers one after another. Sun Quan finally decided he must fight Cao Cao. The problem was that Cao Cao's forces were bigger than his. Sun Quan did not know what to do. Chapter 2. Sun Quan's Attack. How can I battle Cao Cao and win? Sun Quan did not know what to do. He sent for General Zhou Hui. As soon as Zhou Hui arrived, he started asking questions to those who wanted to fight and those who didn't. Both sides had good points. Zhou Hui was not sure what to tell Sun Quan. Then Zhu Liang talked with Zhou Hui. Zhu Liang told him, "Yes, we can surrender. Then our people will be safe. However, you do not have to surrender," he said. "I know Cao Cao's real plan. It is to get the 2 beautiful daughters of the Zhao family." Zhu Liang smiled and said, "Just send them to Cao Cao. Then all would be over." Zhu Liang knew one of the beauties was Zhou Hui's wife. Zhu Liang also knew that Zhou Hui would feel insulted by this news. Of course, Zhou Hui was very angry. The next day, he met Sun Quan and said, "We must attack Cao Cao." Sun Quan asked, "How can we fight him? Cao Cao has too many men." Zhou Hui said, "Yes, Cao Cao has more men than we do, but they are not good at fighting on the water. Also, it is winter now. His soldiers have become weak from fighting in a wet country." Sun Quan said, "Very well. You will lead my men." Zhou Hui asked Zhu Liang's help, and Zhu Liang promised to help him. Chapter 3. First Battle at the 3 Gorges. When Sun Quan's men and ships were ready, Zhou Hui and Zhu Liang sailed for the 3 Gorges. On his ship, Zhou Hui had a lot of time to think. Really, Zhou Hui was afraid of Zhu Liang. He thought Zhu Liang might become his enemy in the future. Zhou Hui wanted Zhu Jieliang killed. Zhou Hui sent a message to Zhu Jieliang. It said Zhu Jieliang must find a way to cut off Cao Cao's supplies. It was the hardest job of all. Someone else was thinking about Zhu Jieliang too. It was Liu Bei. He was worried about his best military planner. He sent a messenger to Zhou Hui to ask about Zhu Jieliang. Zhou Hui asked Liu Bei to visit him. Zhou Hui planned to kill Liu Bei. Liu Bei came to see Zhou Hui, but he did not come alone. Liu Bei kept Guanyu beside him every minute. Zhu Wei was afraid and could not carry out his plan. Zhu Jieliang also met with Liu Bei during the visit. He asked Liu Bei to send another boat. With the next wind from the southeast, the boat would take Zhu Jieliang home. After Liu Bei left, a messenger with a letter from Cao Cao came. Zhou Hui tore it into pieces and killed the messenger. When Cao Cao heard this, he was mad. He ordered his men to attack Zhou Hui. He told his best admirals, Cai Mao and Zhang Yun, to lead the men. The battle did not go well. Cao Cao's men were mostly foot soldiers. They did not know how to fight on the water. Cao Cao's men lost the battle. Cao Cao said the two admirals made him lose the fight. Then a man from Zhou Hui's army arrived to see Cao Cao. His name was Jiang Gan. He asked Cao Cao to surrender. Cao Cao said, "I will never surrender." Then Cao Cao found a letter that Jiang Gan had. The letter said that Cao Cao's army wanted to surrender. It was signed by Cai Mao and Zhang Yun. When Cao Cao read the letter, he was very angry. He told his men, "Kill those two admirals for planning to surrender!" But the letter was a trick. Cai Mao and Zhang Yun did not write it. Zhou Hui had tricked Cao Cao into killing his best admirals. Chapter 4. Zhu Jieliang's trick to get arrows. What is the best way to fight in a battle at sea? Asked Zhou Hui. With arrows, answered Zhu Jieliang. We would need 100,000 arrows. Can you have them ready in 10 days? Zhou Hui asked. I need only 3 days, Zhu Jieliang answered. Zhou Hui had been watching for a way to kill Zhu Jieliang, so he made Zhu Jieliang promise to kill himself if he failed. Zhou Hui planned a way to make Zhu Jieliang fail. He gave his men orders not to help Zhu Jieliang in any way. Zhu Jieliang did not ask any of the men to find arrows. He asked for only 20 boats loaded with grass. Two nights later, he sent the boats onto foggy waters. They sailed toward Cao Cao's camp. Cao Cao could not see clearly, but he saw the shapes of the boats coming from the south. He thought he was under attack. He ordered his soldiers to fire their arrows. The arrows all hit the grass of the boats. In this way, Zhuge Liang got more than enough arrows. The next morning, Cao Cao wanted to know what happened.
Where are the boats?
He asked.
Where are all of the arrows we used?
Nobody could answer him. So he made a plan to send men into the enemy's camp. They could tell him Zhou Wei's plan. Cao Cao chose General Cai Mao's 2 younger brothers to go. When the brothers arrived at Zhou Wei's camp, they went to see Zhou Wei. They told him, "Our brother Cai Mao was killed by Cao Cao. We want to get even with him." Zhou Wei did not believe them, but he acted like he did. Zhou Wei also planned to send one of his men to Cao Cao's camp. That man could tell him Cao Cao's plans. Huang Gai, a favorite general of his, took the job. The next day, Zhou Wei beat Huang Gai almost to death in front of all of the generals. Cai Mao's brothers reported the event to Cao Cao. Chapter 5. A Trick for a Trick. Huang Gai sent a letter to Cao Cao. In the letter, he gave 2 reasons for his leaving Zhou Wei. First, Cao Cao's troops were stronger in number. Second, Zhou Wei insulted him in front of others. By the time the letter came, the report from Cai Mao's brothers had also arrived. Cao Cao believed Huang Gai's letter. He told Huang Gai to come over when he had the chance. Cao Cao also wanted to know the enemy's movements. Jiang Gan was now helping Cao Cao. He said he would go again to pay a visit to Zhou Wei. On the day Jiang Gan arrived, Zhou Wei sent for Pang Tong to talk about plans. Pang Tong said, "The best idea is to attack Cao Cao with fire." Zhou Wei had already agreed with Zhuge Liang to attack with fire, so he was pleased with this idea. "The problem," Pang Tong went on, "is how to burn all of the ships. If one ship is on fire, the other ships will get away from it. Before the attack, the ships have to be put together. Then they will have to stay together." Zhou Wei told Pang Tong to find a way to do this. Then Zhou Wei said, "Later, I want you to find Jiang Gan. I will meet him first and insult him. Get him to take you back to Cao Cao. There, you can find a way to do something to his ships." Then Zhou Wei went to meet Jiang Gan, but Zhou Wei did not welcome him. Jiang Gan was not happy. Before leaving Zhou Wei's camp, Jiang Gan ran into Pang Tong. He asked Pang Tong to come and help Cao Cao. The plan worked. Pang Tong met Cao Cao. He told Cao Cao, "Your men look very strong." Then he said, "But I see a problem. Your troops will be sick on the ships. They are not at home on moving boats." Pang Tong went on, "I have an idea. Tie all the ships together with chains. Then you can put pieces of wood across them. Your men will feel like they are on dry land. Chain the ships well, and your men can even ride their horses on the ships." Cao Cao thought it was a good idea. He ordered his men to carry out the plan.
Chapter 6. Fire Attack.
Cao Cao's ships sailed out to test Pang Tong's idea. Soldiers on the chained ships walked and moved without problems, even in a strong wind and high waves. They could do their jobs easily, as if they were on land. Cao Cao was very pleased. One admiral was not happy about the ships. He said,
They could attack us with fire. If one ship is on fire, the other ships will catch fire.
Cao Cao laughed and said,
It is winter now. There are only northwest winds, and I am in the northwest. If Zhou Wei tries to attack me with fire from the southeast, he will burn himself. Don't worry.
Zhou Wei was watching Cao Cao's camp. He saw all of Cao Cao's ships on the water. He was afraid. Zhou Wei told Zhu Liang,
This is a bad plan. We agreed to attack Cao Cao with fire, but it is winter now. There is no southeast wind. Without the southeast wind, we cannot win the war.
Zhu Liang said,
I will pray. Heaven will bring us wind from the southeast.
Zhou Wei then told the ships to get ready for the fire attack. Huang Gai put dry grass covered with oil inside his ships. As he was getting ready, he felt the southeast wind start to blow. Zhou Wei thought,
Now is the time to kill Zhu Liang.
He sent some men to find Zhu Liang. However, Zhu Liang had already left. He had sailed away on the boat that Liu Bei had sent for him. The southeast wind grew stronger. When it was in full force, Huang Gai sailed up the river with his ships full of dry grass. Cao Cao saw Huang Gai's flag. He remembered the letter and thought Huang Gai had left Zhou Wei, so Cao Cao was not ready to fight at all. Huang Gai's ships came close to Cao Cao's ships. Then Huang Gai set fire to his ships and attacked. Cao Cao's ships were chained together. No ships could break away from the others. Soon, all of the ships were on fire. Cao Cao was also caught in the fire. On top of that, Huang Gai was looking only for Cao Cao. One of Cao Cao's generals helped him jump into a small boat. Cao Cao headed for the shore. On the shore, Cao Cao was attacked by more men. They were Zhou Wei's men coming by land. In the battle, Cao Cao lost most of his men. He himself escaped.
Chapter 7. Cao Cao's Escape.
Zhu Liang was not in the battle. He was in Liu Bei's camp, but he was not resting. He was getting Liu Bei's generals and men ready to attack Cao Cao. Zhu Liang ordered Zhao Wei to cross the river with 3,000 troops. He told Zhao Wei,
Wait in the Black Forest. If Cao Cao escapes from Zhao Wei, he will pass through the forest. Attack him there.
Next, Zhu Liang gave orders to Zhang Fei. He said,
Take 3,000 men. Wait for Cao Cao in the Hulu Valley. Cao Cao and his troops will try to rest in the valley. Attack him there.
Only Guan Yu had no orders. He was not happy about this. He told Zhu Liang,
Liu Bei, Zhang Fei, and I became blood brothers long ago. From that time on, I have never failed to go to war. But today, I have no orders. I was going to send you to the Huadong Path, answered Zhuge Liang. But I am not sure. You have a debt to Cao Cao. He once let you live after a fight. I am afraid you would let him pass.
Guan Yu said,
I already gave him his life once, so I am even with him now.
Then Guan Yu promised,
I will not let Cao Cao through the Huadong Path.
Liu Bei knew Guan Yu was an honest man. He also knew Guan Yu still felt some debt to Cao Cao. Liu Bei was worried Guan Yu might let Cao Cao pass. Zhuge Liang told Liu Bei,
Don't worry, I also know Guan Yu will let Cao Cao pass. However, I have studied the stars. Cao Cao's time is not over. If the stars say it, then we cannot fight it.
So, Zhuge Liang sent Guan Yu to the Huadong Path. This time, he hoped that Guan Yu would pay his debt once and for all. Cao Cao escaped from Zhou with a small number of troops. When he reached the Black Forest, Zhou attacked him. Cao Cao nearly fell off his horse, escaping. Cao Cao made it to the Hulu Valley. Again, his enemy attacked. This time, Zhang Fei was in the lead, but Cao Cao escaped again. Chapter 8. The End of the Battle at Red Cliffs. By now, Cao Cao had only 300 men. Most of them were hungry and tired. When the road went two different ways, Cao Cao sent a few men each way. The men came back and reported the bigger road was easy to travel. The other way led to a smaller mountain path. However, they could see some smoke rising from there. Cao Cao thought the smoke was only a trick. He took the mountain path. It was difficult to go quickly. By the time he arrived at the Huadong Path, his men were all very tired. Then, Guan Yu attacked Cao Cao. At first, Cao Cao wanted to fight. However, his men were in no shape to fight. He decided to ask Guan Yu to let him get away. He hoped that Guan Yu would remember their past battle. At that time, Cao Cao had let Guan Yu live. Guan Yu would not listen to Cao Cao at first. He knew the difference between following his own feelings and doing his job as a soldier. Cao Cao begged for his life. Guan Yu finally let Cao Cao pass through. Cao Cao came out of the path. He looked back at his men. Only 47 men were behind him, even with so few men. Cao Cao could go back home safely. However, Guan Yu was in trouble now. After all, he let Cao Cao escape. Now he had to return to Liu Bei's camp. Zhuge Liang met him at the camp. He asked, "How did Cao Cao get through the Huadong Path?" Guan Yu said, "I let Cao Cao escape. I am ready to die for it." Liu Bei asked Zhuge Liang not to do anything to Guan Yu. Guan Yu could make up for his failure to kill Cao Cao in the future. Zhuge Liang agreed. After that, all of the men in Liu Bei's camp celebrated. Back at the river, Zhou Wei also celebrated with his men. He sent a report to Sun Quan. For a time, peace came to those three heroes and to the great river.